Okay, let's spend a few minutes very quickly to check in with our debt market as we start a brand new business and market week. Let's get Femi Ogundimu, who is a treasury dealer at Access Bank, to talk to us from FMDQ Exchange Place. Femi, good morning. It's good to have you.
Good morning, Bossman. How are you doing?
Looks like you had a very great weekend. You're shining all over.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I want to find out if the market is going to shine like you are doing this morning, looking at us getting to the middle of the month as we put some economic data we had recently in perspectives, and everyone is looking at whether Godwin Emefiele, the head of the central bank, will make good his promise to deliver his 5-year roadmap, the next roadmap, before the end of this week.
We're actually all anticipating that to happen, but you know, possibly this week, sometime this week, that should happen, hopefully, on the road plan for this week. However, regarding the market is still trading as it is, based on the fundamentals that are available in the market, the liquidity, and the things that generally drive activity in the market. So for this week, for the traders, we anticipate a mildly bullish market because the market is a bit liquid, and just mildly though. We expect some debits today in the market, so that's today. So that might actually drive some level of drop liquidity a bit, but generally, market is still pretty much liquid, and so it should drive a bullish trend today. Thank you.
Yeah, but in terms of what's your playbook for the whole week, Femi? What's your playbook in terms of maybe after the June 12th, Wednesday public holiday, and we're all back to business, as it were, on Thursday with some matured treasuries in your box? Do you think liquidity level will taper off a little bit somehow?
Okay. Today, market should open today with about over 200 billion today. After the debit today, which is the FX wholesale sale, it should drop by about 100 billion. So, like I said earlier, market should still be relatively liquid, and that liquidity will go across up until maybe Thursday, when there will be NTB auction. We have about 129 billion maturing in NTB. That's on Wednesday, and 126 billion on Thursday for OMO as well too. Now the NTB should have been on Wednesday. Because of the public holiday, like you said, it's been rescheduled to Thursday, and so we'll probably not see OMO happening on Thursday. Maybe on Friday it might. But the liquidity in the system currently will drive market between now and then. The outcome of the NTB will also impact the market slightly. So, like I said at the last time I was there, rates were supposed to be around 12.5, and we've seen that play out all through the last week and this week. So on Friday, we think if there's OMO, that might drop activity in the market slightly. So maybe have moderate activity in the market. But without the OMO, we'll just foresee a bullish trend, considering the system liquidity that is still robust, like I said earlier.
Okay, just about a minute. What's your thought about currency? You want to throw that in if you think anything major is going to come from there, aside the regular debiting that the central bank does for you banks trying to get some of these, the regular weekly FX auction?
Oh, okay. Well, the debit is, the FX auction is this pretty much standard activity in the market at the moment. They normally issue about the same amount in wholesale. And so for banks, it's just going to go at the level that should go at. For exchange rate, that will still be relatively stable at the level as it is for the wholesale, and for because the reserves have been relatively stable, so there hasn't been any depreciation in our currency or anything. So market expected to be the rates at the window should be relatively stable compared to nothing really has happened in the market. The oil fundamentals are okay, the reserves are okay, the oil price is going higher. Everything just seems pretty much okay, and so I don't see a drastic change in the exchange rate in the market at the wholesale FX. So the rate is around 359, 360 thereabouts.
And the yield, you think the yield will try to be a little bit stable? Is there any no major shock to yields? Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the yield, it's gonna be stable still. Everything just seems because we haven't seen a lot of demand in the market. The most of our market, the activities are market usually driven by foreign investors sometimes, and there have been a national foreign investors in the market recently. Rather, the activity hasn't been so robust. So market has just been trading on a relatively stable level. So there's really nothing to drive the yields. Assuming the let's say we have maybe an impact on our results, for instance. Maybe we see a drop in our results. We might see maybe CBN increasing yield at the securities market. But I mean, the market has been stable. The FX is the reserves are going higher. It's about 45 billion today. Oil price is also going high. It's about $62 to a barrel. So I mean, so for the FX, there's no risk on the FX side, and that drives our market. So there's no incentive for the CBN to increase yield in the market currently. So we see stability in our yields at this point. So for the Treasury bills market, we anticipate the 12.4, 12.5 region, nothing far from that. And for the bond market, we anticipate 14.4, where the longest tenor is currently, but more for 14.5 levels.
Let's leave it there for today. Thank you so much for raising the curtain on the debt market for us this week on the show. Femi Ogundimu, thank you from Access Bank. Let's bring you some stories which breaking as we speak, starting today's business and market week. The Securities and Exchange Commission says tomorrow's annual general meeting of the shareholders and directors of Owando Nigeria PLC has been suspended. That meeting scheduled to hold in downtown Victoria Island, Lagos tomorrow, 10 o'clock. The SEC says been suspended because Owando has taken the SEC to court, or the regulator to court last week, seeking an order and securing an order for a status quo to be maintained. So the regulator says if status quo is to be maintained, then Owando has no right to hold a shareholders meeting, which was to consider the company's financial statements for the full year ended 2018. That's one news straight out of the market street. And as we speak, as we get on the program, Dar Communications, which is listed, the only broadcaster listed on the Nigerian market, also issued a statement to the Nigerian Stock Exchange this morning saying the board and the management of Dar Communications PLC wish to thank the general public for their solidarity in the recent event concerning the suspension of our operating license by the National Broadcasting Commission. Dar Communications says it has secured a court order for the maintenance of status quo ante as at 30th of May, and the operations of Dar Communications has been reopened on Friday, 7th June. Finally, the final paragraph in the press statement signed by Johnson Onime, the Executive Director of Corporate Communications of Dar Communications PLC, says we will continue to engage the National Broadcasting Commission, the government, and the public on this issue. A very four-paragraph statement from Dar Communications as a listed company reporting to the market this morning. Also, what do we have? Over the weekend, the SEC issued a statement on Sunday saying that Owando was given a fair hearing before the directives of some sanctions, which was given to the company about 2 weeks ago, and said the company got sufficient opportunity of hearing before the company was penalized. So we have all of this in your box for this week. We'll get more reactions from the market and everyone else as we move on this trading day. Let's leave it there for today. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning. Don't be late. See you then.